Hello, I'm Chuck Phillip with South Alabama Home Inspections, and I'm turning off of the Causeway, headed eastbound. We'll just go ahead and pull over here for a second. What we're looking at is the former real estate office for Pineda Island. This was actually going to be a very big project at one time, starting back in the late 50s. And so there you're looking at what was the real estate office for Pineda Island. This development back here, my uncle used to live in this neighborhood back in the 70s, early 70s. And you can see the kind of entrance they had here. They used to have a real cool sign out here in the front, but I think the hurricane, or one of the hurricanes, took it out. You can see the palm tree lining the entrance here as well. This was going to be almost tantamount to like a little miniature Disneyland in some respects. There was big plans that were made for this. I kind of sort of think this entire island was made up of dredge soil, and I remember a lot of the old bridges were broken up and placed back in some of these little places back here in the back. You can see some of these houses here have been remodeled. Some of the first houses in this neighborhood was furnished by Sears and Roebuck, and they pretty much followed the Florida design, or early Florida design, of these homes back then. That's Bay Road right there. There was developers from Florida were the ones who came here to develop this out, and you can look right there. I'm gonna roll the window down because my windows are kind of dirty. You can see that was going to be a circular hotel, and it's still there, the Olympic-sized pool, and it was actually opened and used in the early 60s. I say 60, 61, 62. You can see some photographs on this on the Facebook page, History of Spanish Fort Alabama. And so you can see as we make this turn, that's the Blakely River right there. And there's one of your good old Florida style homes. So it's got waterfront in a lot of areas in this neighborhood, and some canals, good places to put your boat. Now, you know, this thing will flood during hurricanes, and so if you was to live here, you would need to evacuate, or should, you know, because of the water getting up pretty high in this area. It can actually get up probably 8 feet deep in some areas in here, depending on how bad the storm is. And so it comes down to a little cul-de-sac here. There we go. We're looking at the Blakely River. Across, you're looking at Spanish Fort Estates. These are relatively new, and I believe my uncle actually lived in this one here. Yeah, he did. This was the one my uncle lived in, because I remember going back behind this and fishing right there. It could have been the other one over there, but I'm pretty sure it was that one. See, that's the old Florida style house, and these had the old jalousie windows that crank out. I don't see any of those on any of these houses. They must have replaced the windows, which is a good thing to do. They're actually a fire hazard, and I kind of sort of know a girl who died in a fire with her grandmother because they couldn't get out of the house because of those jalousie windows. That might be some there. We just go up here and take Bay Avenue. It's not a very big neighborhood, but it's nice. I don't see any properties in here for sale either. But I guess if you kept your radar on and kept monitoring Zillow or Realtor.com, you might be able to find some properties come up here for sale. That might be a Florida home right there. It's been added on to. It is. That might have been my uncle's house right there. I think at the back side of that, or front side, whatever you want to call it. That's the game and fish division right there. So that when they have the alligator hunts, I think that's where they bring them in to get tagged. So not much to see in this neighborhood. It's a pretty fascinating story about Pineda Island. Like I say, if you want to know more about this, go to the History of Spanish Fort Alabama on Facebook. There's some pretty cool photographs of when this was starting to get developed. But from what I understand, there were some issues with financing of the properties, and the financing fell through, and it just never took off. It just pretty much just shut down probably around 1963. But it's convenient to Mobile. I mean, you're right here at the Causeway, convenient to Spanish Fort as well. And so I guess if you wanted to move down in this area, you could. Now across from this is Mayor State Park, and that was just a park for many years, but now it's actually got a guard post there. It's manned, and that'll be a good place to take your RV and camp there as well. And I think it's got nature trails and all that, and so that'd be a good place to kind of sort of spend the day as well. I'm not sure, I think you have to book those lots in advance if you're planning on parking a mobile home there, or a motor home or RV. And the entrance to that is going to be a little bit further up there on the left. Now, where that sign is way down there, that brown and green one, that's Five Rivers. And so that's actually kind of a park as well, and like a miniature convention center too. They actually got a museum there, and it's kind of hidden from the roadway, but that's where that's located. And you know, depending on the traffic, you know, right now it's 10:42 to be exact, and the traffic's not too bad. But in the morning times during rush hour traffic and in evenings, this can kind of be a little bit of a hazardous task getting out on this, especially crossing the 4 lanes. And at nighttime it's pretty dark on this causeway as well. There's actually quite a few wrecks that happen that occur on this causeway. And I want to give a shout out to Spanish Fort Police Department and also the fire department. You know, they actually stay pretty busy on this road, on this causeway, dealing with wrecks. And you can see how close we are to Spanish Fort Estates, going up that hill right there. Now, to the right, you'll see a road that curves to the right, and that will take you to Daphne, and right there to pretty much where I-10 is as well. That road runs right underneath the bluff to the old Spanish Fort Estates there. So anyway, this is going to be a short episode as well. I figured I'd go ahead and, you know, put some of these videos up of what neighborhoods exist around the Spanish Fort area, in case you're entertaining looking at buying houses in some of these, and kind of sort of give you an idea of what's close to it. But the primary focus of this channel is to pretty much all the issues our homes face here as far as the climate that we live in. And so I welcome you to go take a look at those. They'll save you a lot of money because they're focused specifically to the problems that we have being in this wet climate. Thanks for watching.